Before we get into today's episode, we have some big news to share. If you love U Up and live in the New York City area, you're going to love this. U Up Live is coming back this winter for a one-day show on December 8th in New York City. If you're wondering what U Up Live is about, it's the same shit you love from the podcast. The games, the commentary, the awkward sexual encounters, but all IRL. So if you're around on December 8th and you want to hang out with Jared and Jordana, get your tickets today. Visit betches.co/UUpLive21 to get your tickets.
Betches Media presents Diet Starts Tomorrow with hosts Sammy Sage,
I'm having a relationship with my pizza,
and Aileen Drexler.
I'm gonna make you girls a hump day treat.
In a world where wellness looks perfect on Instagram,
Just doing my workout. Tuesday's arms and back.
but feels anything but in real life.
Is butter a carb? Yes.
This is the podcast exploring the emotional side of well-being
I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie.
from people who understand the struggle.
I am on the third day of my cleanse diet.
Hello and welcome back to Diet Starts Tomorrow. I'm Sammy, and today I am joined by someone very special. The man who actually makes this podcast happen, you could say. I'm joined by Betches' head of podcasting, Sean Kilby. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm a longtime fan and producer of this podcast. So it's I feel like when Jared and Jordana come on and they're like, I'm a listener of the show. I have listened to every episode of Diet Starts Tomorrow. This is a big moment for me, Sammy.
No, you've listened to every episode, plus all the shit that's gotten taken out of the episode.
Oh my God, I get to hear all the good stuff. I have to delete the good stuff and save it for myself.
Yeah. Yes, but you know, where we keep it
It's a cabal,
tight.
right? We have
tight.
a cabal.
Exactly. Okay, so I think you've been on before, maybe briefly, but you've been on our other podcasts. Either way, I would love for the audience to understand, you know, who you are, Sean.
Wow.
Who are you? What is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
What time were you born? Okay.
I'm also, okay, I don't know if you know this about me. I'm the youngest. I don't know if you can tell that. But
Of how many?
3. And I'm so clearly the youngest.
It makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
You have a happy-go-lucky attitude that you can only get from being the youngest.
Wildly carefree to a point of annoyance of my siblings. But yeah, so youngest of 3, and I'm from California, but I've been here for so long, it feels like I don't even remember that anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's one of those things. So yeah, I do produce pretty much all the podcasts here at Betches Media, including many of yours. And I live with my girlfriend, Linda. We've been together since high school. That's
how many years is that?
We just had our anniversary yesterday, Sammy. It was 19 years.
Holy shit.
I know. We've been together longer than we were alive when we started dating. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. You also, I feel like, have outlasted the Kourtney Kardashian Scott Disick relationship at this point.
They didn't pale in comparison. They got together like 10 years ago. Are you kidding me? I've outlasted so many celebrity relationships. It's crazy.
Do you think the audience has now learned everything about you that they need to know for this episode? Do you have more you want to share?
So I would say that in terms of like the Diet Starts Tomorrow audience,
I was going to ask
the culture
that next.
and everything. My weight has fluctuated a little bit in the last few years. I will say there was actually a few years ago where like I definitely remember checking. You know what it was? I've never told anybody this except for you now. But I remember going. I don't know if you ever have this experience, but you know, I put on like 40 pounds or something, right? And
yeah, I had that experience. I'm having it now.
And then I went to Tulum. Well, we've all experienced that. And then I went to Tulum, and we had a great time. And then I was looking at the videos afterward, and I didn't look like I thought I looked. Do you know what I'm saying?
Meaning
Like,
you looked hevier, or you looked heavier than you thought?
I looked heavier than I look in the mirror. It's like I watched vacation videos, and I looked heavier on my iPhone than I even thought I looked in the mirror that day.
Totally.
So then I started running that day. Like I literally was the thing that, and to me, like running, to like doing cardio, et cetera, that is the thing that works for me to like get motivated. I don't know if you feel this way. And again,
well, it's very easy for men to lose weight. Let's be real.
Oh my God. It really is way easier for me.
It probably fell off of you.
Well, I mean, it was hard work, but so I remember I started running then, and it's one of those things too, where running hurts so much that it actually motivates me to skip dessert because I know what the calorie in, calorie out is. If I'm not doing any of that, I have no motivation. whatsoever. Now, I'm not really a dieter anymore. So that was like one thing that I did. And then I was very happy with how I look. And then the pandemic hit. And by the summer, I'd had so many pina coladas that it was one of those experiences where it was like, okay, I just got to stop that.
Right.
And for the first time in my entire time living in New York City, which is like a decade, I did join the gym. So I've been, and I do go to the gym all the time now, not because I like it. It does kind of suck. But when people are like, oh, do you go to the gym? My answer is always, what else am I going to do? Because I just have all this time. There's no commute, et cetera. So I've become more like Avi since last summer, where it's like, no, it's just become part of my routine.
Can I tell you a story about Avi this morning?
Any story about Avi, who is the best, the sweetest, most friendly person of anybody associated with, like, honestly, when we go to like Betch's events, this doesn't come across when he's on the podcast, because he was on a Back for Seconds, I think, recently.
He was.
But he's just such a friendly and personable guy. So tell me the story.
He is just happy it's so unadulterated and happy. It's like pretty crazy. And then I'm like, here I am.
No, you guys are a great match. No, but he is lovely.
Thank you. I'll tell him, or he could hear this. Okay, here's the story. Avi, not only is he incredibly like active generally, but he fills every single second of the day. He doesn't really take that much downtime until like the night, because he just like is always moving. And it's like it's wild to me. Like, because I'm like, I'm of the camp of I have one activity today. We can't do anything else. So this morning, Avi had a 9 o'clock call. It was 8:46. And he goes, I think I'm going to go downstairs. We have a pool in our building and just get in a 5-minute swim.
Wow.
14 minutes to meeting. And he's going for a swim.
Is that no? Let me ask you this seriously. How would you categorize it? Is it just healthy? Is it compulsive? Is it crazy? Does he just not have good time management because he's a dude?
He has horrible time management.
Okay.
But he made it to the meeting.
Do you think it's a compulsion thing though? Or do you think it's a routine thing? Or is he just that healthy?
It's not about like healthy. It's about like, I would put it maybe more on the compulsion category. Like he needs to be doing something. Like it's not, he needed to go swim necessarily. He would just as easily go like run an errand or call somebody. Like it's more just that he literally moves from the second he wakes up until he decides it's bedtime.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, it's bedtime. We're going to go in bed now. And I'm like, I'm watching Housewives in here.
I know.
We are watching the Housewives. You can go in bed.
You know who else I can't understand? I get wanting to squeeze something in, but people who can exercise in the morning are totally foreign to me. I don't like. I've tried.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I will do it because there's no other option, I guess. But
so you could do it.
Well, I guess, but I hate it. I'm just like, who wants to work out before work?
It's a matter of personal taste. Honestly, I kind of like to do that because I will get it. I will definitely, it's over. And then I get to reap the benefits of knowing that I did it the whole day, which is like, I did it. And then you keep reminding yourself of that. And that's sort of its own little like wonderful thing to have gained.
This is true.
I don't know. As a person who cannot get myself to work out, that's actually something I'm struggling with a lot right now, because I literally have tried so much to get myself to like actually just work out. Like I write a workout in my schedule. Like I have built out working out in the schedule for like a week ahead. And just the time comes and I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and
I know.
Not like I'm going to do something else. Like, and yeah, I just can't get myself to really work out. And it's frustrating because I've like gained weight and I'm not dieting to lose weight, and I'm like trying to just work on body acceptance, but I'm also like, I wouldn't mind if I lost weight. So like if that just happened, I wouldn't be upset. But I know that if I did start to incorporate working out, that probably would happen. But I don't want to work out for the sake of losing weight, because that's going to fuck up my eating. I made so much progress. I don't want to screw that up by starting to work out, but the only thing that can motivate me to work out is weight loss.
I'm the same way. It's what I was talking about too, is I do actually very much psychologically tie the exercise to the food intake. because nothing else will make me skip the meal.
Say nothing else will
or skip the dessert. Skipping meal, whatever. But like,
okay, in your case, you're seeing it like an input output thing. I'm not going to change my input, but it's not like, oh, if I work out, I can eat more, because that's something I worked really hard to not think, and I don't really think that anymore. Yeah. It's more just like, I know if I added a workout in, I would become more toned and I would look more fit and I would be generally happier. I would just naturally be happier with how I look. Regardless, I'm still working on body acceptance, but like, let's be real. Society signals to you that you need to be thinner, smaller, whatever. And it's very unpleasant to not be able to fit into normal clothing sizes. Mm-hmm. So like, maybe if there were more clothing sizes in my size, I would be like, okay, this isn't so bad. But at this point, like, I'm not there right now. Mm-hmm. So I, have this like, oh, if I work out, I'll lose weight, but I can't get myself to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it to lose weight because I don't want to fuck up my progress. So.
No, I do actually think, okay, this is great. When I first started working out, people love asking the question, oh, do you feel better? Like, there's like this myth that if you work out, you're going to feel better. And I love telling people no, because the truth is, I don't really feel that much better. But one thing that I do find satisfying, like, I know setting goals for certain things, like getting stronger, et cetera, or being able to run longer, it actually does feel a little bit satisfying to be able to do more, And I will admit, now,
is it like better than just sitting here?
It's like at most I feel better on it. No, not really. It's like my lower back's a little better, but it's mostly because I just sit like in front of a computer all day, like the back stuff or the aches and pains, whatever. Maybe I'm more comfortable on an airplane. That's like the only thing. You know what I mean? Like being able to sit upright on an airplane for 6 hours cross-country flight. I will say, to give you credit for my food choices, because there was like a time where I was like dieting that I would like do the no carb thing, which like, it's just a shortcut of thinking. It's like, it's just easy to cut something out. I will say, when I start to think about like instituting a food rule, I do actually I correct for that. I'm like, fuck it. You can have rice on this thing, whatever. I don't really eat as much bread because I've just kind of lost my like desire. But the truth is, nothing is as satisfying as pasta. Like regardless, it doesn't matter. The only thing that I did change in my food that just never came back is soda. Because when people are like, oh, soda's too sweet, I will literally be like, you're crazy. Soda is perfect in every way. Like, I think a Pepsi is amazing. But eventually, a Pepsi is like, honestly, almost
a Diet Coke.
Oh, I hate diet. A diet.
Oh my God,
tastes so bad to me. I just think
I'm gonna have to finish this podcast by myself.
No. But so I eventually replaced the urge to have Pepsi with like a Spindrift, and it costs a lot more. But my Spindrift habit,
it's healthier.
Straight up habit, is so good. I think it tastes great. It's almost like a reward. And it is not, again, we're not talking about calories in, calories out on this podcast anymore, but it's like, it is 150 less calories than I'm having 3 times a day.
You could have diet, Sean. You could have been having diet.
Yeah, but that doesn't actually bring me any joy. I'd rather just have a glass of water than that. But it really is one of those, where I have now, the other thing I never in my entire life, I think this is just how I was like, I was that picky eater. So I never liked vegetables, and my siblings loved vegetables, but I was the youngest and I got away with murder. So it's like, fine, you get to like skip the vegetables. So when I started trying to eat healthier for the first time in like my mid 30s, I remember there was a little period of time where I was like, oh my God, vegetables actually are pretty good. So now I can enjoy vegetables. So for me, now I'm like, kava is like a local thing we have here in New York City. And it's like these Mediterranean bowls, and I can just have the salad version, and it's fucking amazing. But that's a shift for me.
Those are very flavorful. Those are delicious.
I have all the sauces, though. Are you kidding me? The dips and sauces are nuts. But so that's one of those things for me where it's like the only thing that had to shift for me was just like, if I just stop drinking Pepsi, I could do whatever the fuck I want otherwise, and we're good.
Well, you're a guy. I do have to say, your ranking of beverages is baffling to me. We could do a whole episode on that.
Well, I also think milkshakes are the greatest thing on the planet.
Milkshakes are wonderful.
Okay, we agree then. We're back on the same page.
They're like dessert smoothies.
Yeah, they are. They're like a dessert smoothie.
Yeah.
we should launch a health place. It's called like dessert smoothies, and they're basically just milkshakes. It's actually called Jamba Juice. That is what Jamba Juice is.
Milkshakes are wonderful. It's just whether you like your ice cream melted or if you like it a little bit harder. It's really just the question. So, okay, we talked about your ranking of beverages. I do agree that flavored, carbonated. As an adult, it's really hard to sort of get your doctor game together, how to know where to find a doctor. If you move, it becomes complicated to get another doctor in your area, maybe to go back to your old doctor. Maybe they stop taking your insurance. There's so many different factors that go into like the process of finding a doctor, and it's honestly very challenging. But that is why ZocDoc is here. You just download the free ZocDoc app, which is the easiest way to find a great doctor and instantly book an appointment. With ZocDoc, you can search for local doctors who take your insurance, read verified patient reviews, and book an appointment in person or video chat. You never wait on hold with a receptionist again, and you don't ever have to call them, which is the worst part, as everyone knows, a huge barrier to making a doctor's appointment. Whether you need a primary care physician, a dentist, dermatologist, psychiatrist, eye doctor, or another specialist, ZocDoc has you covered. You go to ZocDoc.com/DST and download the ZocDoc app to sign up for free. Every month, millions of people, including me, use ZocDoc. I found my primary care physician on ZocDoc, and I've been going to her for the past 5 years. It is really reliable and really just makes it easy because you can see where they're located, you can read reviews, and that I think is really helpful because not every doctor is the same bedside manner, and you want to find one that matches with you. ZocDoc just makes healthcare easy. Now is the time to prioritize your health. You made it through the pandemic. Now's the time to prioritize your health. So go to ZocDoc.com/DST and download the ZocDoc app to sign up for free and book a top-rated doctor. Many are available as soon as today, so you don't have to put this off anymore. That's ZocDoc.com/DST. But just back to one thing you said earlier, which I really would like to go back to. You said that when people ask you, like, does the gym make you feel better? You're like, actually, no. The gym, I do think, makes you feel better, like, right after the workout, like the immediate rush of endorphins, and then the satisfaction that you did it, like you were saying. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you, like, what does better feel like? Like right now, I'm feeling wonderful.
And right now.
I haven't gone to the gym. So.
Exactly. No,
right. Honestly, like, is it really about the gym or is it just like day to day we change?
It feels like it's a story people tell themselves to validate their choices.
Like the story people tell themselves when they don't eat carbs that they feel so much energy. It's like, how?
No, you don't. Literally, you feel so much better after you eat pasta. Don't fucking lie to me. But I do think it's one of those things where some people have to justify why they wasted an hour fucking running on a treadmill for no good reason. Now,
right.
Now, if the Kardashians is on the TV in the gym, that might be a good use of your time. What I do is listen to podcasts. So I never feel like I'm wasting time. I feel like I'm enjoying it. So like I actually have found a way to make it enjoyable for myself. Somebody might be listening right now while they're on a walk. Good for you. That's a fantastic use of your time. But when people who treat working out as a hobby, I'm like, get a fucking life. Like watch a TV show or read a book or play a video game. You know what I mean?
Well, unless you're like Avi, where it's like his energy is like he needs to slough it off with multiple activities. I agree with that. No, if I have a good podcast that I'm like, ooh, I really want to listen to this episode or like this guest or something, I will use that to motivate me to go out. But totally. To what you were saying about like spending an hour in the gym, it's like gym activities are so pointless. But if you're playing like a sport or like, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to get more into, like a sport or something.
Oh, totally agree with this. So there was a time last summer. I'm going to do it again when the weather. Well, I've been waiting because I go to the gym, but our gym like has a basketball court that you kind of can't use. I was playing a lot of basketball, and it's the only way that I can motivate myself to actually sprint. Because you like somebody shoots the ball, they miss, and then you put your head down. And you're like, "Fuck, I got to run back the other way, or else I'm like a dick. I got to like do my part." So that's one of the things where I'm motivated, and then you get lost in the game, and you really, it's good. It is good cardio. It's good for your body. Like I got to get my blood pumping because I'm not getting any younger. You know what I mean? Like I definitely ate so much junk food for the last 20 years that like that's the only element where I'm like, I got to run. Right? It doesn't matter how much food I'm eating or how much junk, but I got to run. So that is one of the things. I think that's what Avi is doing also. You know, what I also will say though about the thing you pinpointed is one of my favorite realizations is that when you go to, for example, if you go to like a sauna with like those like hot spas, whatever you call them, a schwitz. Thank you. People get out of there and they feel so healthy. they feel better. They're like, I feel so much better. It must be improving my health. I must have sweated out so many toxins, right? Like that's one of those things. They don't know what they mean by that, but they say the word toxins. And I realized one of the most gratifying emotions, literally emotions in life, is relief. The feeling of relief is so powerful. When you're so thirsty and then you get a cold can of Spindrift and you're just like such relief from being parched. Or you get like, you're freezing cold in a snowstorm and then you get inside a warm place. It's a sense of relief that you're feeling. So when you walk out of that schwitz, yes, your body is relaxed, which is a nice feeling, but you also feel this huge sense of relief, and your body rewards you for that relief. You're back to not dying anymore. So like when you get out of the gym, some people talk about runner's highs. I think they're full of shit. Like, I don't know what they're
I've never had one. I ran a half marathon, didn't get it.
I feel like I got half a runner's high one time, and then I lost it, and I still think about it. Was that what it was? Like, and it, like actual euphoria.
If you have to think about whether you're high, you're not high.
You're not high. You can just go get high if you want to. We have things for that. But people
when it hits.
So I don't really ever feel better after working out. I might feel a sense of relief sometimes.
Yes. Accomplishment.
Well, maybe, but I mean, literally, I get to stop killing myself. You know what I mean? Like that pain is over.
Right. The relief that it's over, but then you could just not do it.
But it's fleeting. What I'm saying, Sam, is that's fleeting. It's not an actual long. So when people are like, oh, do you sleep better? Do you feel better? Do you whatever? It's like, I think my back feels a little better. I mean, that's about it. But all our backs are going to hurt when we get older. You know what I mean?
It already hurts. Maybe because I don't do anything. But maybe because when I run, it hurts more. But I think you're right about the relief. And I also think these things actually are healthier and maybe make you feel better. Like when I got out of the sauna, I do feel better. Like these things have been shown with some data to be better for you. But like, is it this like life-changing thing? Like I've never experienced that. Like it's nice. It's something to do while I'm a human on this earth and I don't have something else to do. Like, it's sure. But to your point about basketball, like I've been actually trying to get into play tennis. I've spoken about that in the past.
Tennis is the perfect one though, Sammy. It's such a perfect example of like, you have to kind of participate and some of it requires you to really get going. Yes, keep going.
Sean, I'm in such bad shape that last week we took a lesson and I was so winded that I obviously had to get like so much water. And then I vomited the water on the court because I felt so sick.
I've been there before. Oh my God. Linda, one time for my birthday, I asked her to get me a CrossFit class, so she got me like a month membership. And I went one time and I almost threw up and never went back. And it was literally what you're talking about. It's like and this is another lesson I've learned. Okay, so this is what I learned last summer when I started working out, because I just got like the Nike app and started working out at home. I got like one set of little dumbbells.
That's a good app.
It was great. And I like found the classes that were interesting to me and did them a lot over and over. But the one thing that I've learned is like when I've in the past tried to join a gym and like really go for it, is you push yourself too hard early and then like your joints hurt too bad. You feel ill when you like are doing too hard a cardio, whatever. And it completely saps any desire to go back. So what I did this time around was just really, really not push it at all. Like really went slow. And my thought was, I don't need to be good at stronger or whatever in 2 months. I want to be like 6 months from now. Like I can actually do this stuff without my like elbows and shoulders and knees hurting. So like every time I start running again, my knees hurt every time.
Right.
And you kind of have to just take it easy, but then power through. So with this tennis thing, it's like, well, you just need to tell the instructor if you're taking lessons, like, I am not trying to push myself too hard here. I'm trying to do just enough that like I can ramp up in a few months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really, when it comes to those exercise things, you can't push yourself too hard or you will just quit.
But the issue is I can't get myself to do it consistently enough to get into like better shape. Like if I'm working out once or twice a week, like I'm not going to get into better shape. And I don't know like how I'm going to,
Maybe tennis is too much though. Is there another thing?
No, I love tennis. I mean, I could go to yoga. I have a bunch of studios near me. I could go to Rumble. I could go to Y7. I just feel like I can't do a 45-minute class. Like, I'll die.
I can't. I mean, it's nuts.
Well, I did the hour-long tennis lesson almost.
Oh, so it was an hour long. See, that's a long time playing tennis. I'm saying, could you take up squash? Could you play badminton? Could you, like, racket sports are so fun, but some are way harder than others. I'm more of a ping pong guy because I can get a sweat going ping pong and not work that hard.
Well, I can play tennis. Like, I know how to play. So it's not like, you know, it's not like a burden, like, you know, to learn. It's like, I just have to play. That's it. Tennis
is hard. That's the other thing. I will admit, it's a big ass court.
It is. I need to get into doubles.
Absolutely.
I just need to have half the. No, I need to get into better shape. I want to get into better shape. I just don't like want to enough to get off my ass at any given moment.
I have found in my experience too, it is kind of a catch-22 where you're like, okay, I want to get to a certain level, but in order to get there, I have to like break through, but it hurts too bad to break through. So I'm definitely going to quit. So
I mean, that's like, what always happens. It's frustrating because I've been in good shape in my life. It's just the pandemic and the effect it had on me and the way that it, you know, my pandemic played out. This is a challenge for me. Healthcare for women is unnecessarily complicated, and we're all always looking for ways to streamline our to-do list, whether it's for delivery or ordering our favorite products online. So why should birth control be any different? With the Pill Club, they make it easy to get your birth control without scheduling a trip to the doctor's office or going to the pharmacy in person, because who wants to do that? They provide access to care from the comfort of your home and delivery to your door in discreet packaging. The Pill Club carries over 120 FDA-approved brands. Most brands of birth control are free with insurance or Medicaid. Otherwise, prices start as low as $7 per month without insurance. The Pill Club delivers birth control to your door for free in discreet packaging. And their licensed medical team is just a text away to give you the best reproductive health care. So skip the office visit and waiting in line at the pharmacy and join the club. And right now, if you use our code when you go to thepillclub.com/DST, the Pill Club is offering a $10 donation to bedsider.org for every DST listener who becomes a patient. Your donation will help low-income individuals get access to birth control through bedsider.org. That's thepillclub.com/DST to get your first birth control care package and donate to help more women in need of affordable birth control. Remember, thepillclub.com/DST. You must use the link to make a donation.
The other thing I do, you know what, honestly, this is crazy during the pandemic because there are multiple modes of transportation in the city, but I genuinely over the last year and a half have chosen to walk even when it's inconvenient because I know I'm not even leaving the house some days. Because I'm not, because you don't have to leave the house. It's crazy.
Right. Okay. I do that too. I prefer also to walk if something is like walkable.
Mm-hmm. What's walkable?
But like 30 to like 40 minutes.
Oh, that's incredible. That's an
I don't want to walk
range
for longer than 40 minutes.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Because also if you're going somewhere, you're going to really be sweaty and gross. And like, that's, you know, you need to kind of have nowhere to really go. That's that important. But
that's the other, I have to throw something out. This is the other reason I can't work out in the morning, Sammy. Yeah. Like, when you work out, do you just like take a shower and stop sweating? Because I don't.
Well, it depends.
I take a shower and I keep sweating
sweat
for 30
all day.
minutes.
Me too. I sweat all day. Yes, I have that issue too. Well, here's the thing. That's not really a problem if I'm just sitting on Zoom. But my problem with the walking and why the walking doesn't move the needle for me is that I'm not the person who's going to like go out to get 10,000 steps. Like I'm not just going to leave to leave.
No, fuck
but
that.
I will walk when I have somewhere to go. But I don't have enough places to go. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Like what else? I try to think of more things to do. And, you know, I'll try to be like, oh, I don't need to go to like the nail place that's right next to me. But like, how frequently am I going to the nail place? Like, you know, I'm just not going as much, you know. My mom lives nearby. I walk to her. That's like a 30-minute walk. But like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing an everyday walk. And I have so many Zoom meetings and then I have the morning announcements at night that my whole day is like in this little computer.
You're a very busy person. I think we all do feel that a lot. To me, I go after work, but it's because I don't have a commute anymore, which is nice. But do you guys ever go to the park? You live right next to
the
greatest park on the planet. Like, is that a thing you guys do?
Oh, I take the dogs to the dog run. That's a solid 30-minute activity. That's a good one. But, it's not every day. Someday Avi does it. Some days it's raining. Like, I would say I would get like a solid amount of steps in 3 days a week, but it's not like 10,000.
I'm the same way. I literally have to force myself to do cardio or choose to skip taking whatever transit it is. But I'm not like, I've never counted my steps.
You're right. I check them just to see, but I'm not like going out of my way to get them. Like, that's wild to me that one would do that. I mean, Jordana does it, but like, hi Jordana, I know you're listening, but I just don't really get it. Like, well, okay, maybe if I didn't have every night, I make dinner every night or pretty much every night. The morning announcements and then like dinner didn't occupy my like 5 to 7 o'clock world.
Yes.
Maybe if that weren't the case, I could do something then. But like, to me, 10 a.m., sometimes earlier, 10 a.m. to 7 are just like, they're full.
Mm-hmm, totally.
Maybe they're not 100% full, but like they need to sort of be reserved. I guess I could just be like, I'm going to work out or I go in the living room. But like, again, it's hard to pull yourself out of work mode.
I know. I think we also impose upon ourselves this standard that like when you are going to exercise, it has to be for a lot of time.
Yes. I tried to undo that.
I know I'm a creature of habit completely. We all are. I'm probably more so than a lot of people, but I also really want to I get it. We all you get in ruts too. So like you have to try to avoid being in habits that are also ruts. So with the exercise thing, again, it's not a rule, but I do tell myself like if I don't go to the gym today, I probably won't go tomorrow. Right. So it's like it's one of those things where like you get into a new habit. So, but sometimes I'll go to the gym and I'll be like, I just don't have the energy today. And I'll work out for like 20 minutes and I'll be like, that's okay. Like that's like you can actually get some 20 minutes is plenty of time sometimes. And so other times it's an hour,
Okay, I'm okay with 20 minutes, but 20 minutes for a man is not 20 minutes for a woman with long hair. Because you then that's everyone
whole
knows.
Thing. I see what you're saying.
That's why Avi can go swim for 5 minutes before his call. Like and we're back to that.
And we're back to that. No, it is one of the, and the other thing too is it is easy. There are certain elements it's just easier for men. Actually,
we're supposed to carry babies. So.
I know. There are just like elements that are just easier for men and are elements that are easier for women.
Yep.
So it's just funny how those things. So I probably am discounting how much it eats into your day just for a 20-minute workout. Because for me, it's like I can just. To me, here's the other thing too. Running for 20 minutes is hard for me. But it's a good little workout. And it was 20 minutes. Like that's the only thing. Like we tell ourselves a story that I have to make it a whole production and I don't have time to work out, but everybody does have some time that we choose to kind of like not put.
I have time. I literally block my calendar and I just don't do it. With Olive & June's Mani system, you can achieve beautiful, salon-perfect nails at an affordable price. Olive & June's Mani system is the ultimate secret behind salon-perfect nails at home. All in one, no guessing, no messy nails, no salon price tag. I actually happen to have their Mani system box right next to me because I use it all the time. It comes with all the tools you need in one box. It is so easy and honestly a game changer. I've barely gotten any manicures since I've tried their set. My favorite thing about their kit is that it has this basically a handle that you put on top of the nail polish, which makes it really easy to use and paint your nails with like keeping a steady hand and just paint them much more easily than you would with just when you have to hold the actual bottle. So honestly, it is really amazing. It makes the whole thing so easy and your nails look professionally done. Getting beautiful salon perfect nails at home is now a dream come true with Olive & June. Your new nail life is here. Visit oliveandjune.com/DST and use code DST for 20% off your first Mani system. This is an exclusive offer you can only get here. That's OLIVEANDJUNE.com/DST. Code DST for 20% off your first Mani system. Oliveandjune.com/DST. Code DST. Okay, we are going to close the show today with a non-scale win because we've been talking for quite a while. This has been very fun. So we're going to save Dear DST for next week and we're going to do non-scale wins. So should I read this one or should we do our own first? Do you want to do the audience first?
Let's do the listeners' non-scale one.
Okay. Hi, Sammy and Aileen and Sean. First off, huge fan of the podcast and all things Betches. Thank you. My non-scale win is related to my recovery from a surgery I had last week. Typically when I'm sick or not feeling well, I'll try to keep up with emails, school, work, etc., and not take the break I need. For example, last year I spent the night in the emergency room and went to class the next morning. I mean, I would never. But good for you. You're like Avi. Okay. I'm a law student and this surgery was scheduled a little over a week before the start of school. So I was worried I wouldn't be able to take the time to really drop everything and recover. However, I reminded myself that I need to treat myself and my body compassionately, which is one of the key things I've really taken away from your conversations on DST. I'm happy to say that I took the full 5 days the doctor recommended to recover, and I don't think I'd feel as good as I do now if I hadn't. Thank you both so much for your advice and vulnerability on the podcast. I'm so grateful that you've shared your journeys with us. XOXO R&R Betch. What do you think?
Awesome non-scale one. I think that's fantastic. It reminds me, we actually on the Betches Sup podcast, you can go download this episode, recently had an interview with Senator Tammy Duckworth, who recently sponsored legislation to give people paid time off when they have a miscarriage, when they lose out on a potential adoption, etc. Because there are elements of not just health, but like your personal experience that you might need time off from work that traditionally, at least in American culture, has not been accepted. And I think the reason this is even a win for her is because we have this thing where it's like, you almost feel like you're getting away with something if you take a sick day.
Totally. Mental health is health. And I think that goes completely unacknowledged, but like it clearly is. Stress can wreak havoc on your physical systems, and on vice versa, like you can improve your physical health by improving your mental health. And like, I think that this shows like a really long-term thinking attitude, because she's thinking like in the long run, I will be better off. And like, you will be better off if you take care of your mental health and your, physical recovery. Surgery is a big deal. It's very risky. I assume you're going under anesthesia, and that's a recovery in and of itself. Like your body's being drugged to go to sleep so you feel no pain. That's really wild when you think about it. You are doing something for yourself that will go so much further than like an extra day in the library, whatever.
This is true. I don't know if you know this, Sammy. So when you hired me, this is like a couple years ago, it was like the end of the year, and they're like, okay, Sean, you're going to start in the beginning of January. And then like a week before my start date, I had this like pain in my abdomen, and I had kidney stones before. So I was like, it's no big deal. I'll just go to the emergency room. And like, I've done this a few times where like I have kidney stone pain, and I like pack up my backpack with like my iPad and headphones and whatever. And then I'm like, Linda, you stay home. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to go over to the emergency room. We'll be fine. And then check in, which by the way, the emergency room around the corner from me, state of the art. It's amazing. They like take you in immediately. And so but one time I had to stay overnight. It was the most excruciating pain of my life. But then a couple other times it's like you wait it out and then you're fine and they let you go. So right. I had a couple of these episodes at the ER that year. And then it's like the end of December. And I go on, I'm like, it's fine, doc. I'm just here, just precautionary, because my kidney stone pain is like really bad right now, but I'm sure it'll go away. And it's like, well, let's just give you like one of those scans real quick. And next thing you know, I'm being admitted for surgery because I have appendicitis. So I had my appendix taken out like a week before I started at Betches. But I had like just enough time, it might have been like 2 weeks. I had enough time that like my start day, I felt perfectly back to normal. But if I'd had to start 2 days earlier, I would have had to call you and been like, Sammy, I know it's my first day, but I can't come in. So it worked out nicely, but I never told anybody. So it was one of those things where like, I felt like I had this little secret on my first day. I'm like, you guys don't even know. I was just under the knife.
That's wild. Yeah. Well, I would have just been like, it's okay. He got his appendix out. He can start in 6 months.
I know that now. I know you would. I think people also assume everybody's had a manager who just doesn't understand it. It kind of sticks with you. Where like, right. We have to change how the culture of having to bounce back, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, I just think about myself. Like, if my pinky hurts, I'm done for the day. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, but like kind of not also kidding. Like, I could be.
Well, speaking of taking time off for whatever reason people need to, I did just get back from vacation. That's my non-scale win. We went to Iceland, which you gave me a lot of recommendations. We went to Iceland.
That you didn't take.
What? No, we took a lot of the recommendations. I did not go to the tomato-themed restaurant that you... No,
It's not a tomato-themed restaurant. It's a hydroponic tomato farm with the most delicious food ever. Tomato-based.
Apparently, there's one good place in Iceland. Iceland has the worst food on the planet. I'm just telling everybody.
The tomato farm.
Yeah. There's like one good thing. But we did that, and then we went to Nice. Nice is a place in France. And then Paris. And I have gotten, I think, at this vacation more than any time before, it's like you kind of have the thing where you're like, oh, I don't want to go too crazy while I'm on vacation eating. This time I just ate whatever the fuck I wanted. And then when I got back, slipped right back into my routine. A lot of times it's hard to reset. So my non-scale win was I ate amazing food while I was in France and came back and totally made the best of it and have not, it hasn't disrupted anything for me whatsoever. I'm back on my routine. I feel great. So that my non-scale win is taking days off and really making the most of a vacation.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is, I could go for a vacation right now, frankly, Do
you have a non-scale win for this week?
I do. So my non-scale win has to do with Watch What Happens Live, because I'll be frank, I've never been on TV at this weight or really on any camera at this weight. And, I was nervous about it. I had a hard time finding something to wear because, again, sizing of clothing, to find an outfit that, to find a brand that I could fit into the clothing for. I tried a few things that didn't fit. And I do have to say, Katie Storino is the one who actually recommended that I look on Sashin and Bobby, which is where I got my dress for Watch What Happens Live. And I also bought, I needed a dress for a black tie wedding, which I also found. I have a wedding on Saturday, so I have something for that too. And that was all thanks to her recommendation. But I don't, I would have felt so shitty if I wasn't comfortable in my outfit. And, watching it and seeing myself on a heavier body on TV was just that's who I am. It was kind of I do feel mildly insecure, but also this is who I am. And it was so cool that we got to bartend, and my life is so cool. And
it really is.
I don't mean my life is so cool. It's I get to do really amazing things that I should not diminish them or feel in any way negatively about them because I'm doing them at a higher weight, and I'm really trying to work on that. And that I felt good about Watch What Happens Live is a win.
Well, I also think the fact that you're able to appreciate how awesome an experience that is. Because you kind of get used to your own day-to-day experiences. But that's a fucking amazing thing that you got to be a bartender on Watch What Happens Live. Your life is amazing.
Thank you. You do get used to these experiences. You really do. I try to remind myself, if I weren't used to it, this is all I would want. So who cares? I am doing this. And I also do sort of think about other people like Katie and Remy Bader, who are doing all these amazing things that they're at a bigger weight and people admire them for it. And I'm yesterday after we had this advertising week panel, someone DM me being I don't know I don't know if you really can understand what it means to see someone in a bigger body who's not a size 0 or 2 on a stage. And it's okay, I'm glad that I can make people feel that way just by showing up and not being ashamed to show up. So, it kind of made me think you know what, however long I am this weight for, if it's forever, if this is my permanent weight, you know what, maybe that's okay. And maybe I'm just meant to inspire other people that they're okay at the weight they're at, the way I feel about Katie and Remy and, people like that. So that's my non-scale win.
That's an amazing non-scale win. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Great non-scale win from the listener. Keep them coming in. Email them. Where do people send in their emails?
DST@betches.com.
We're saving the Dear DST for next week, but keep sending those in because we will read. If you send in a good Dear DST or a non-scale win, it will get read on the show.
I mean, the ones that we read are always, I think, they're really great. And I love this. I love the DST fam. This Saturday, we are doing a DST Peloton class. It is Jess Sims. 30-minute boot camp. We're doing it at 11 a.m. EST. Everyone's just going to sign on at the same time, 11 a.m. EST. If you're on the West Coast, it's starting at 8. I feel maybe you can make it, depending on I don't know, what stage of life you're in, maybe. But please join me and join the team. Last time we had a lot of people in it. And it was really, really fun it got got me motivated to do it. And I hope that it does for all of you too. So Peloton ride this Saturday, October 23rd, 11 a.m. EST, Jess Sims 30-minute boot camp. There will be info on Instagram and Facebook too. So, and the Facebook group. Send in your non-scale wins and Dear DSTs to dst@betches.com. Sean, do we have any other requests for the listeners?
Well, make sure that you go and subscribe to Back for Seconds. The people who are subscribing, we love you. It's never too late. You can go back and listen to all the bonus episodes. We've got a great one coming out. Make sure you can get these ad-free a day early. We super appreciate anybody who's subscribing on Apple or Spotify. Back for Seconds.
Yes, thank you. And please leave us a review. We really, really would appreciate it. Please leave us a 5-star review. If you're a fan of the show, I can't even tell you how much it means to me to, get, your feedback that you send to me in DM. To see it like publicly on the Apple page is honestly like especially helpful as well. So please take the time if you have it, to leave a 5-star review and some words on the page. Follow at Diet Starts Tomorrow on Instagram. Follow at Sammy to follow me. Sean, do you want to be followed? Or
if somebody wants to know, like every time I listen to podcasts, I know you're just like, what does this person look like? You can look me up on Instagram at Radio Sean Ryan. That's where you can find me. But you don't have to follow me. I'll be fine.
Yeah, he's not looking to rack those numbers up, but. Yeah, and I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and we're always with you.
Through thick and thin.
Diet Starts Tomorrow is produced by Sean Kilby and Jorge Morales-Pico. Editing by Stacey Wong and Sean Kilby. Social media by Sydney Rafe. Guest booking by Nicole Pellegrino. Be sure to follow at Diet Starts Tomorrow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And send us your emails to dst@betches.com. Betches.